I'm Pat Patterson. Looking for a new or second career? The world is open for business and you can be a part of it. Visit OrangeCountyCITD.com for more information and watch Remade in California right here Wednesday at 7 a.m. Hi, I'm career coach Pat Patterson. Welcome to Remade in California. This is a show about exciting new career and job opportunities right here in California. We'll show you how your local community college system can help you find a new career and be trained for currently available jobs at any age. Today, I'll be interviewing 4 professionals, each with their own insights into the exciting field of global trade and logistics. From an educator to a beer brewer, a toy maker to an import-export logistics expert, we'll explore this exploding world of international business and show you how their stories can help you become remade. We're talking today about global trade and logistics, and I'm here with Lynn Stewart, Director of the Orange County Center for International Trade and Development, and the Orange County Deputy Sector Navigator for Global Trade and Logistics for the California Community Colleges. We're at the Rancho Santiago Community College District offices in Santa Ana. Now, you said earlier to me that the world is open for business. What does that mean?
95% of the world's consumers live outside the United States. Also, with the internet, has made the world more accessible to companies, to students, and I mean, it truly is open for business.
So, the program that you have is twofold, if I understand. One is to get more skilled workforce into the marketplace, but the other one is to also promote businesses to do more with this 95%.
Yes, there's a bit of a fear factor in there with when we say global trade. It's understood that yes, importing, exporting, and goods moving throughout the world, but then where the feeling is, where's my place in it as a business owner, especially the smaller businesses, and it's that how am I going to get paid? How am I going to access consumers outside my own, my own back door? And it's helping get them ready and able to export and feel comfortable, as well as importing, engaging in international trade, as well as educating the students and training them as graduates to go in and provide value.
So the initiative on a state level, not only here in Orange County, is that there is an opportunity for jobs and that people need specific skills to start filling those jobs. What kind of skills are needed to do that?
For global trade, you have skills, and a lot of you hear this all the time, soft skills. When you take on a global aspect of business, it becomes, can you function within an environment that involves other cultures? Language skills are important. Sure. Even in a career where it once was thought to be more domestic, such as engineering or architecture, now these people are going overseas and they're doing jobs in Shanghai, China, and elsewhere. And so those skills need to be there.
I know there are many industries that are involved in global trade. Name a few of those.
Manufacturing, renewable energy, biotechnology, retail, hospitality, tourism is a big one, especially in California. Fashion, filmmaking, television, distribution, definitely are areas where global trade is very much a part.
And I understand the trade part. Tell me a little bit about the logistics part.
We're sitting right next to the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach, which are, together the #1 port system in the country. You have to have goods moving in and out to be able to access those global markets, to be able to import your goods for manufacturing, and all of that involves logistics, whether it's the trucking, whether it's the ocean shipments, air, and it's a critical part of the supply chain process, actually.
Do you see, in terms of demographics of people that are coming in to retrain, is there a place for 45 plus in this sector, this segment?
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, I've been a teacher at a community college for 15 years.
Okay.
And I am seeing students of all age groups. I mean, I've got students that are straight out of high school, 18 years old, sitting next to, I just had a gentleman who was 66 years old in my class this past spring.
That's right.
And it's becoming more prevalent because they are looking for other opportunities as well as upskilling.
Now, why community colleges to go do this? Why not a four-year university?
The community colleges are tasked with workforce development, and that's where you'll find the skills development, the certification programs that are available in the various fields that give students the technical skills.
I know you're a real advocate for companies to get into global trade.
Well, I tell people I've sort of become this global trade evangelist. As the Deputy Sector Navigator for Global Trade and Logistics for Orange County, I work with all of the community colleges in the area that have an international business program. And so they're all on the website, and students can go and explore what colleges have what type of program. And even in other disciplines, that's another thing we're trying to do is infuse global trade into a manufacturing discipline or fashion or whatever it is. But if they're specifically looking at, I want to explore international business, global trade, I think the best place to start would be our website, since we have that student section. And they can certainly call our office to get more information.
So tell me what makes global trade fun.
It's the variety. You get to work with different cultures, different products, the companies. I love small business, I love global trade and teaching and education, and I get to work with all of that. When I was an exporter, it was definitely working with the different cultures and being able to travel to the other countries and meeting new people, and a company paid me to do that.
Why wouldn't anybody want to do this? It's just a perfect opportunity to people that need a new career to get into a new career.
I ask myself that same question every day.
Yeah. I think that you will find that the Orange County Center for International Trade and Development has a lot of great resources for anyone that wants to get into a new career or develop their current business internationally. Now we go to the brewery in Placentia, California to meet CFO and COO Carl Katz. Carl, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Pat.
So tell me about the brewery.
Well, the brewery is a craft beer manufacturer based in Placentia, California. We do about 10,000 barrels of beer a year right now, primarily Belgian influenced, but we focus on kind of experimenting with what beer can be and extending the experience of beer. Many of our beers are barrel aged, and we have one of the largest barrel aged programs in the country. We make about 10,000 barrels of beer a year right now, a barrel being 30 gallons, so some 300,000 gallons of beer.
And so you started when here in Orange County?
Well, the brewery's been around since around 2008 is when we first started producing. And now we have a presence that is across the country and even around the world.
I understand you started out as an attorney.
Yeah, my career here makes sense looking backwards, but going forward is not one that I anticipated. I actually spent a lot of time in college thinking I would have an international career. I lived in Japan for 3 out of 5 years during my college and undergrad days. And then became a lawyer, and for most of my legal career, practiced law here in the U.S. and never made it abroad.
Wow.
I found that my personality fit one of a business person rather than a lawyer, and I felt like I was able to be more productive and creative in a business capacity. And eventually my career took me from the legal world to the manufacturing world.
So you were Remade.
Remade.
Remade, good. You've been very successful here domestically. Tell me a little bit about how you're taking it overseas.
We do have a premium product. A lot of quality ingredients and a lot of time goes into our beers. Our beers take 3 months to 3 years of aging, which adds to the cost, but also gives us a better quality product at the end of the day. In terms of our export experience, exporting started by accident at first. We had a couple of distribution partners that we would call from time to time whenever we had available product to sell. But over the course of time, our export planning has become more intentional. And now we actually, on a yearly basis, work with our distributors that are abroad to plan what they're going to receive and what we expect to be able to give them over the course of the year.
And knowing that our audience is a part of this, the Doing What Matters initiative for the state of California, if somebody was studying to get a job at the brewery, what kind of skills would they need to be a part of that?
For a company of our size, I think that just having good communication skills is probably the most important. That, maybe project management, There's the industry, particularly the alcohol industry, tends to be very, very regulated. There are a lot of rules, a lot of paperwork. Every single state that we distribute to has its own regime of registrations. Going abroad compounds that paperwork. Now you not only have to do what you have to do in the US, but you will have frequently requirements abroad that make that regulatory requirements even more difficult to pass through.
Part of what we are talking about too is not only the trade element, but the logistical side. There's a lot of logistics in getting a perishable item to the far corners of the world, so I assume that's a big piece of what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in the world of shipping, logistics means everything. If you're shipping, you want to ship on a full pallet because it costs the same to send a full pallet anywhere as it would a half full pallet. Right. And just making sure that you have the right product mix and the right types of products to make a full pallet, it takes a lot of tinkering around. You want to send the product that the customer ultimately wants. You want to make sure that the pallet itself is full. Working with the distributor at the end of the day to make sure that they're getting the product that they want is an important skill set to have.
Yeah, I bet. What's the funnest part of the international trade element?
A couple years ago, we sent about 4 or 5 of our employees to Belgium, and it was a real kick to be able to go to Belgium, to go to a craft beer retail shop in Belgium and see our product on their shelves. Wow. That was, and here we're selling a Belgian product that's highly sought after in Belgium. Was really a kick to see.
How fun. And so as you look to grow that, would you go to trade conferences or to the countries themselves?
Well,
what would be a strategy?
I definitely think trade conferences could be part of it. For sure, probably before that, I would say going to the countries themselves. We're fortunate right now in the craft beer market that there's so much demand in the US for products like ours that having an international component can be part of what we do. But it's really nice to know, like, there's billions of people, quite literally, who would love to have our product, and if we just wanted to focus on other markets, we could probably do that and have a pretty decent outcome at it.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about the Orange County Center for International Trade Development that's right here. Are you going to tap into their resources?
Well, having learned about that, I think that would be a really phenomenal resource for us to help us navigate those foreign markets, especially as we start to make them a bigger part of our distribution plan.
Thanks again, Carl, for being with us. I'm Pat Pattison. Thanks for joining us for another segment of Remade in California. Appreciate Carl Katz, COO and CFO of the brewery, joining us. Now the most important part, we're going to go taste some beer. Next is a fascinating interview with military veteran Martin Kresmer. He remade himself in a career in logistics after taking classes at the community college system. We met up at the Port of Los Angeles, where he works for APM Terminals as the manager of training. Martin, thanks for joining me.
Pat, glad you could make it today.
So tell me, this is this incredible facility. Tell me about the Port of Los Angeles. What does it do? How does it fit into global trade and logistics, our topic?
Well, the Port of Los Angeles is one of the biggest pieces of commerce and logistics in the United States. Combined with its sister port in the Port of Long Beach, it's responsible for approximately 40% of all the goods that flow into our country. Wow. So when you look out these windows and you see all these containers, what you're really seeing is commerce in the country, out of the country, and things that are waiting to take place.
And what's your current job here?
Currently, I'm the manager of training, so I'm responsible for onboarding and in-processing and training all the new hires as well as managing our efforts in compliance,
Okay.
in helping train with safety, and keeping everybody up to speed on their professional and process-related education. Prior to that, I'd worked in the different departments here, so every operation, whether it's delivering to trucks, or servicing the ships, or servicing the trains, or working in our planning group.
What are some of the areas we might not think about that might be career opportunities, particularly for a veteran or for somebody that might be a little more advanced or thinking about a second career?
There's so many different facets to the whole supply chain industry.
Okay.
I'm just a small part of it here, where we just take the containers off of the ships and put containers on the ships. But as you get to learn the industry, and I'd recommend for anybody who's interested to read up on it, to read up on the supply chain, to understand the different pieces that do exist. Because the terminal, this operation is just one piece. It's a big piece, and it's a glamorous piece, but it's still one piece.
Okay.
There's still people that are in charge of dispatching the truckers that come in here and pick up the containers. There's people in charge of the trains and the rail cars and the tracks themselves that control how the goods flow across the country. There are people that are in charge of the warehousing and the networks that exist there, and staffing and controlling that, and scheduling pickups and deliveries and departures. People doing distribution. So there's elements that could appeal to anybody who's had a military background and some experience in organizing equipment and personnel. You just have to find the part that really appeals to you, I think.
Did community college play into your career at all, or?
Attending community colleges got me to where I am today. When I graduated from high school, I didn't really have too clear a direction about what I wanted to do. I did join the California Army National Guard and served in that while I was going to school. And having a GI Bill was a big boon because it helped me pay for not only my school, but some other living expenses that I had incurred. I can't really say how important it was to me because it gave me a foundation. It taught me how to study. It taught me how to take my ability to accomplish things and transfer it to the classroom, and then be able to carry that forward when I transferred to the University of Southern California.
So I know in terms of going to community college, you were probably a little bit older of a student. What was that like?
I was older, just due to the break in school time I had due to my service time, but at the same time, I wasn't nearly the oldest person in my class. So what I was able to find, I was able to bring my experience and meld that with the diversity of other experiences, whether it was students who had just come out of high school, or people like myself who'd spent some time in the military, or others who'd gone out and actually had established careers, but wanted to come back and either renew their education or set off on a new track. And bringing all that together was something that I thought was really great.
Part of what we're working on is the fact that there's just a bit of a skill gap that is people that maybe did something 10, 15 years ago versus what's needed specifically now. So would that be more desirable to a company like APM, somebody that has some education?
Absolutely. I'm part of the hiring process right now. And what I can tell you is there are people with the life experience that will bring in the competencies, the leadership, the decision making, the ability to accomplish things. But at the same time, bringing that with an established skill set and a familiarization with the industry and the practices that exist just to make them that much more easy to select when it comes time to interview and start hiring people.
Well, thank you, Martin. I appreciate your time. And thank you for joining us for another segment of Remade in California. As you can see, attending community college made a huge difference in Martin's life after his time with the military. Now I'm excited to share with you an interview with a longtime friend, Graziella Maibar. She tells us all about the fun and fascinating world of international toys through her experience at Mattel. Graziella, thanks for being with us.
It's a pleasure, Pat.
So tell me a little bit about your background.
I was born in Cuba.
Okay.
And came to the United States and actually to Los Angeles. I grew up in the South Bay.
Okay.
So Mattel was the iconic toy company right off the 405 freeway then.
Right.
And after graduating with my MBA, I saw an ad on the LA Times business edition
Okay.
for a systems analyst.
Okay.
I applied, and 2 weeks later I had an offer, and it was the best career decision ever in my life. I started working for the international division, doing sales forecasting and inventory projections, but the head of Latin America took notice of me.
Okay.
And 3 years later, she offered me the opportunity to join her team. The fact that I spoke fluent Spanish, that I knew the culture, because my roots were there, I was an instant fit into that organization.
So explain a little bit about how international trade worked at Mattel.
Mattel had a network of distributors and agents that represented us in countries where we didn't have yet a fully owned subsidiary. And that was the case for most of Latin America. When I joined the Latin American team, my job was again in logistics and sales forecasting, inventory management, so that we could basically address the needs of all these countries.
There are package designers.
Package designers, copywriters.
There we go. Copywriters, logistics people.
Logistics people.
Safety.
Internally at Mattel to coming in. Safety.
Test labs.
Test labs.
Yeah.
And then marketing.
Okay.
And when you think about it, in international trade, you touch every part of an
ripple
organization.
effect. Yeah,
it totally is.
Yeah. In terms of somebody that might want to be exporting their own product.
Yeah.
What did you have to be sensitive to when you were marketing
Well,
overseas or
yeah.
Latin America?
You have to be aware of the local laws.
Okay.
If there are any import restrictions to the products you're making, or how are you shipping it to the local country?
So if you're a business in Orange County, let's say,
Yes.
and you're thinking about exporting,
Yes.
what would you recommend? How would somebody get to know, let's say, a
Right.
market in Latin America? What would be things they could do?
First of all, go there.
Makes sense.
Make a journey and find out about the market. Visit with trade organizations that can be a tremendous resource for you for knowledge and information on how to do business in certain countries.
So Graziella, what about community colleges?
Great resource, absolutely, because many of them are teaching great classes about international trade and commerce, and that's a great resource that is so available to us. So yes, I don't care how old you are, go to the community college and enroll in one of these classes about trade and commerce. And Pat, besides learning and networking, you can get a certificate. That is a great thing to have because it shows that no matter at what stage in your life, you're willing to learn.
Right.
And there's a certificate there that shows that you've done it. 95% of the children of the world lived outside North America. It's a tremendous business opportunity. For your products, for your services, you'll be amazed at what's out there.
Graziella, I know you left Mattel in 2014. What are you up to now?
Well, I left Mattel and I decided that I have learned so much along the way, and I know that I can help young women and men achieve goals. And because I did that for so long at Mattel that I went and got certified to be an executive coach.
Wow.
And honestly, I'm loving it. I also do some consulting because for the last 10 years in Mattel, I really focus on diversity and inclusion. And that's my passion.
Well, great. Thank you for being with us.
My pleasure.
Thanks for watching more Remade in California. As you can see, there are many different opportunities in the exciting world of global trade and logistics. Go to our website to learn how you can get remade in California. I'm Pat Pattison. Thanks for watching.
When it comes to a career in global trade, how does money, travel, and adventure sound? There's a lot you can do to change and affect the world internationally. Did you know that almost every industry has jobs in global trade? Let me introduce you to 4 of my friends that have careers in global trade. Here's how they got to where they are today. Teenage Kathy wasn't sure what she wanted to do for a career.
I was bored with high school, but in my junior and senior years, I took business and international business classes at a community college. Did you know that community college classes are free to high school students? Exploring business in other countries was so interesting. After high school, I received my AA degree in international business, took the Certified Global Business Professional exam, and received my CGBP credential. I then transferred to a 4-year university and received a bachelor's degree in international business.
After an internship with the U.S. Foreign Commercial Service, Kathy had a great career lined up as an international trade specialist, helping U.S. companies export. Dan always wanted to have his own business.
I've always liked art, and as a senior in high school, I started designing t-shirts and selling them online. I even met a few interested buyers from the UK and Australia and decided to learn more about exporting. After graduating high school, I enrolled in the International Business program at a community college. Then, I earned an AA degree in international business as well as a certificate in entrepreneurship.
Dan eventually succeeded in growing his online business to include other merchandise and expanded to other international markets. Vanessa was always interested in business. She didn't know what she wanted to do, but she knew she wanted to travel.
My family is Latin American and some live in other countries. I learned about international business in high school, and after graduation, I went to a 4-year university and majored in international business. During that time, I got to participate in a study abroad program in South America. Eventually, I received my bachelor's degree in international business and continued to work for the same company with which I had interned.
Vanessa traveled to many countries and had a successful career sourcing products for import as well as promoting products for export. Miles's family produces agricultural products that are sold and shipped around the world.
I've worked in my family's business all through high school, helping with the sales and shipping. When I graduated from high school, I went to community college, not really focusing on any one career path, just taking general education classes. As my family business was growing and shipping to more markets, I decided to get a certificate in supply chain and logistics. 2 years later, I pursued a bachelor's degree in supply chain management and transferred to a 4-year university.
Today, Miles is helping his family business to grow across the globe. In any of these industries, you can change your life today, just like our 4 friends and millions of others that are being paid to travel, work with people around the globe, and are affecting our world internationally. So, what's your adventure?